Hey everyone, this is Austin Doctor, and welcome back to another review of the time I was reincarnated as a slime, and a very long name again, episode 5, and I just want to say, this episode had some feels in it, a little like, whoa, what's going on here? And this was a betrayal yet interesting episode, and I actually really love this anime so far, so let's start off with, where the episode began. So we see Rimuru actually talk about his process of how he made the swords, and everyone's just kind of like confused and shocked. And we have Kajin kind of basically say he will make a sword that he cannot copy. So well done, and I'm just like, I really like this little relationship they're having right now, and it seems Rimuru is kind of just comparing his old life to his new life, and he's actually really enjoying his newer life because it's not as stressful as his last one, and he's kind of seeing things that he would do in his old life and comparing it to the ones he's doing now, and the elves are just 10 out of 10 in this. But, so we see, actually, the elves offer, an elf offer Rimuru his fortune, and he took it completely different because she was doing a hand move, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna get lucky tonight. I couldn't stop laughing because, I love when he gets very perverted, but, we actually see she ends up looking for the Destined one Rimuru is to meet with and basically a relationship, his wife or something like that. And we see this girl and everyone's just kind of like, oh, okay, what's going on? She's kind of pretty, and the weird thing is Rimuru calls her a Japanese girl, and who could she be? Will we see her soon? I hope so, but I'm really trying not to spoil stuff. I hope a lot of you know, but we see actually Vesta show up, and if you don't know who he is, he's kind of the minister of the town, and he's very cold and rude. He's very prejudiced too against anyone that isn't human, it seems. But it's kind of normal in the fantasy world to be very prejudiced against slimes or monsters, and always halflings or elves or dwarves are always segregated in any fantasy world. It's just how it is, and then I thought it was well done in that aspect. But going back to what was going on, we see actual Vesta kind of was asking Kanjin about his order and how he needs to get it done instead of being over here, and Kanjin actually told him that he has sent them, and he was shocked, and we see Rimuru kind of start to see that Vesta is just out to get Kanjin, to get him in trouble, because he gave him that really impossible order. And Vesta called Rimuru a very lowly monster, and he started questioning the elves why they allowed a monster like him in here to basically get him out of his sight because he's disgusting. And I'm like, oh boy. And he actually pours his drink on Rimuru, and Rimuru gets really, really mad, but stays cool because he doesn't want to get, Kanjin in trouble. And of course, Kanjin just gets up and punches Vesta in the face and beats him up, and I'm like cheering this guy on, like, yeah, that's what he gets. Beat him up a little more, kick him in the stomach more. I was so happy because, he got what he deserved right away. And Kanjin actually, you kind of can tell, did it on purpose, so it would make it easier to leave everything behind to go with Rimuru, and to basically get to eat the cake and everything else with it. And I have to say, Kajin is best boy so far, next to Gobata. And of course they get arrested, and we see Gobata is actually still sleeping this entire time. That's why he hasn't really done anything. And Kajin actually talks about how he used to be under, King Gazel's army, and he was a higher rank than Vesta, and this is kind of why Vesta and him get so, angry at him, because if you don't know, Kajin was a peasant, and Vesta is from a marquis family, and when you put someone above someone like that, they're very entitled, so they're going to go after each other, and that's kind of what happened, because we heard about the Magi Soldier project and how it failed, and it was just basically a robot soldier. And Vesta actually falsely blamed Kajin for it, and Kajin actually quit the army just because of it. And this kind of foreshadows what's going to happen with this trial that's coming up. And Rimuru and Kajin agree to work together finally, and his brothers end up saying, we're going to come with you, basically. And we see Gobata finally waking up, and he starts panicking, and of course Rimuru just throws something over his mouth so he doesn't make any more noise. And we actually see the trial starting. And my first question is, why do you chain up a slime? Who does that? Like, he just can go through it. Well, I thought that was hilarious because it's just one of those, like, really? You really have to do that to a slime? And we finally actually see Gazel, and I really like him. He kind of reminds me of an old character. I can't really put my finger on it, but one of the older animes I used to watch, but very well done character design. And we see that their defendant, Kajin's defendant, is bought by Vesta to basically get him in trouble, and we see Vesta has completely faked his injuries, made him look more severe than they really were. And this kind of starts to build up to see how, Kajin quit the army. It all starts to make sense because Vesta is just this horrible person that thinks he's entitled to every little thing, and he can only do nothing wrong. He can only do good. And they did a really well job on making him a hateable character. Not to the over-the-top hate, but just, he's not a good person, you know that. And we hear how Vesta got, Kajin to be sentenced with 20 years in the mines, along with everyone else having 10 years. And I'm like, oh no, what's going to happen? And you're just like, oh no, this can't happen. What's going to go on? And we see Gazel actually step up and ask Kajin about joining the ranks again. And sadly enough, Kajin says no, he has a new master that he serves, and we see everyone ready to attack everyone, and it was going to turn into a really bad situation, but of course the king calmed down, and he just ended up just letting them off with an exiled, and you can tell the king was sad. Even Rimuru recognized that, and he really liked Kajin, because Kajin was this good person. And after, they all leave, and, we see Gazel and Vesta talk a little bit, and Gazel is extremely upset that the fact that he lost Rimuru, since, Rimuru made that potion that's a full recovery potion that no one else can make. It's an impossible thing, and Vesta finally realizes that he messed up, and he understands why the king called him a disappointment, and Gazel actually removes Vesta's position from him and tells him never to show his face to the king ever again. And it's just, you're like, whoa, that was rough. He deserved it, though. And I just couldn't really get over the fact that it was all done in one episode. It didn't drag on like Overlord, and this is why I kind of really like this anime. It's just really good with its pacing so far. And after we see, Rimuru and the others return back, and then we have this little snip of Gazel telling the spies to basically look over Rimuru, and he actually calls him a huge monster or a beast, for the simple fact that he recognizes, he thinks he's as bad as, the dragon in the beginning. And it makes sense since, he did swallow the dragon. I'm just saying, we need to send a dragon back, though. That's what we need, hopefully soon. Who knows? But overall, wonderful episode. I love the comedy, and I'm really liking this pace because the pace isn't so slow to the point it's just like watching drying paint. The politics get done like that. It's just not, we're going to wait next episode to see the slow movement going, and this is kind of why I didn't like Log Horizon, because Log Horizon had that slow politics along with Overlord, and when they get it done, it's enjoyable. They have the actual politics in it, but they finish it instead of dragging it on for too long. And I know that's kind of mean to say, but I don't want to sit there and just watch something drag on. I want stuff to happen at the pace it should happen, not the over-the-top pace. But overall, wonderful episode. I really can't wait to see the next girl he's going to meet, soon, his destined one. Yeah, we'll find out soon. But anyways, guys, this is Austin the Doctor, sign out. Peace.